In the dark, silent forests of Alaska, where the trees stand tall and the shadows grow thick, the Atna people of Alaska tell of mysterious figures who live at the edge of sight, the shadow people. Number 1. Atna's shadow people. Known for their ability to move silently and blend seamlessly with the night, these beings are said to live on the border between worlds, flickering at the edge of vision, yet vanishing the moment one tries to look directly at them. They are elusive, haunting presences that spark both fear and fascination in those who see them. The Atna's shadow people are unlike other mythical beings. They have no form that can be easily described, no face anyone can recall. Instead, they appear as shadows, shapes darker than the night around them, drifting through the forest with a ghostly grace. It's said that they keep to the edges of human settlements, watching from afar but seldom coming close. Hunters and travelers often report an uneasy feeling in these regions, a sense of eyes trailing them, of being watched by invisible beings that remain out of reach. For the Atna people, the shadow people are not just shadows but spirits, beings tied closely to the land. They are believed to be the spirits of ancestors or ancient keepers of the forest, protectors who watch over the wilderness and maintain the balance of nature. Though they are rarely hostile, the shadow people must not be approached or bothered. To do so, the legends warn, is to invite bad fortune, for they do not welcome disturbance. In the old tales, shamans were said to be able to speak with the shadow people, entering a dreamlike state that helped them see these figures more clearly. It was through these rare and solemn meetings that the Atna learned to respect the beings of the night, to honor the hidden and walk gently in the forests where the shadow people roam. Even now, some believe that the shaman spirits still roam with the shadow people, bound forever to the dark edges of the forest. As the night settles over the Alaskan forests, the lines between fact and legend blur. Those who dare go into the woods at twilight know they are stepping into a place where the shadow people exist, a realm where the ordinary rules of sight and sound no longer apply. Number 2. Kushtaka. In the fog-covered wilderness of Alaska, where the land meets the icy ocean, an old legend whispers through the trees. The Tlingit people, native to this tough yet beautiful region, speak of a creature known as the Kushtaka. Many tales speak of the Kushtaka lurking near the shoreline, waiting for fishermen or travelers to lose their way. It imitates the cries of children or loved ones, pulling people deeper into the wilderness, away from safety. As they follow the haunting sounds, they become more lost, disoriented, until they disappear into the cold waters or the thick forests. Those who vanish are never seen again. But the Kushtaka is not always a messenger of death. In some stories, the creature feels sorry for those it meets. When people are desperately lost in the wilderness, the Kushtaka appears, offering warmth and guidance. It may turn into a friend or family member, leading them to safety. Some believe it can even rescue those who are drowning, carrying them to shore, though not without a cost. Legend says that shamans of the Tlingit people knew how to protect themselves from the Kushtaka. They held talismans and used ancient rituals to ward off the creature's tricks. The tales of the Kushtaka keep changing, passed down through generations, growing in mystery and power. Hikers and explorers in Alaska today still talk about odd happenings, the creepy sense of being watched, strange noises echoing in the forest, the sight of an otter that seems just a bit too human. Perhaps in the end, the Kushtaka reflects the spirit of Alaska itself, a place where nature rules, where survival is never certain, and where the line between myth and truth is as fluid as the tides. Number 3. Adlet. In the frozen expanse of Alaska, where staying alive can be a constant fight, there is a legend that sends chills down the spines of those who dare to hear it. The Inuit people speak of the Adlet, a creature born from the union of a human and a dog. It roams the tundra, part man, part beast, with a thirst for blood that can never be satisfied. The legend begins with an Inuit woman who, for reasons lost to time, takes a dog as her mate. This strange union leads to the birth of 10 children. 5 resemble their father, dog-like and fierce, and 5 look more human, but with a cruel, wild nature. The Adlet grow into brutal hunters. Their dog instincts drive them to attack the weak, while their human cunning makes them almost impossible to trick. The Inuit people, though skilled hunters, feared the Adlet more than anything. Some legends speak of lone Adlet, cast out from their packs, wandering the icy wilds in search of revenge or a twisted kind of healing. Inuit shamans, known for their close bond with the spirit world, were said to have special ways of handling the Adlet. Through rituals and offerings, they could sometimes calm the beasts. In rare cases, a shaman might even talk with an Adlet, though such meetings were filled with danger. Today, stories still exist of eerie sightings, big, dog-like figures rushing across the tundra, always just out of sight, but never far enough to be forgotten. In the severe and unforgiving land of Alaska, where survival is never certain, the Adlet serves as a warning: stray too far from kindness, and you may lose yourself to the wild, forever taken by the savage instincts hidden within. So, As the wind howls over the icy land and the snow falls in heavy, silent drifts, remember the Adlet. It might be just a story to some, but in the heart of Alaska, where the wild things wander, legends often become real. Number 4, Tiaruk. In the icy waters off the coast of Alaska, where the ocean's depths remain dark and mysterious, there is a legend that has haunted sailors and coastal communities for generations. The creature known as Tiaruk, a massive sea serpent with a long, snake-like body, is said to dwell in these frigid depths, waiting patiently beneath the surface. It moves silently through the water, unseen but ever present. Stories of the Tiaruk have been passed down by the Inuit and other coastal peoples, who live in close connection with the sea. Fishermen speak of strange sightings, ripples in the water where no fish swim, large shadows moving just beneath the surface. One of the most chilling aspects of the Tiaruk is its stealth. Unlike other sea monsters of legend, the Tiaruk does not thrash or roar. It strikes swiftly, silently, without warning. The people it drags into the sea are said to disappear without a sound, their last moments a cold blur as the water closes over them. Inuit shamans have long warned of the dangers of crossing into the Tiaruk's waters without proper respect. They performed rituals and carried charms to protect themselves from the creature's wrath. According to tradition, there are ways to appease the serpent, offerings of fish or symbolic gestures to show humility in the face of the ocean's power. Despite the warnings, the legend of the Tiaruk continues to draw people toward the sea. The lure of the unknown, the desire to confront what lies beneath the surface, is too strong for some to resist. Adventurers and explorers still seek to glimpse the creature, hoping to prove its existence or capture evidence of its terrifying form. But the sea is vast, and the Tiaruk is elusive, always slipping away just as discovery seems near. Number 5, Kelet. In the long dark nights of the Alaskan wilderness, where the only light comes from the stars and the glow of the moon, there is a legend that fills the air with unease. It tells of a creature called the Kelet, a ghostly, hairless dog that roams the frozen lands in search of prey. But unlike other predators of the night, the Kelet does not hunt for meat. Instead, it hungers for something far more precious, the souls of the living. According to the stories passed down by the Inuit people, the Kelet appears without warning, often in the dead of night, when the cold is at its most unforgiving. Its presence is a dark sign, a harbinger of doom for those it encounters. It is said that once the Kelet has been seen, death will follow swiftly behind. Whether it's illness, an accident, or some other misfortune, the Kelet's appearance is never just a passing coincidence. It comes with purpose. What makes the Kelet truly terrifying is its connection to the spiritual world. Unlike other legendary creatures that exist in the physical realm, the Kelet is believed to cross the boundary between life and death. It is said to feed on souls, drawing strength from the life force of its victims as they pass from this world to the next. While many fear the Kelet for its deadly nature, there are those who believe the creature serves a grim purpose. Some Inuit legends suggest that the Kelet acts as a guide, leading lost souls into the afterlife. In these stories, the creature is not evil, but rather a necessary part of the cycle of life. Still, even in this role, the Kelet is not a creature to be welcomed. Its presence means that someone's time has run out, and no charm or ritual can stop it once it has chosen its prey. Nowadays, the legend of the Kelet persists, a reminder of the thin line between the living and the dead in the harsh Alaskan wilderness. Those who know the old stories still whisper of its appearance, especially during the long winter months when the darkness seems to stretch on forever. So, when you find yourself alone in the cold Alaskan night, listen carefully to the silence. If you hear the faint padding of paws on the snow, the Kelet may be near, and if it is, the end is not far behind. Number 6. Kalupalik. In the cold, dark waters off the coast of Alaska, where the ocean stretches endlessly and the waves crash against sharp rocks, there exists a legend that has haunted coastal villages for ages. It is the tale of the Kalupalik, a sinister aquatic creature that stalks the unwary who wander too near the shore, with green, sickly skin and nails as long and sharp as fishhooks. The Kalupalik's appearance is nothing short of terrifying. Its skin, a pale and unnatural green, blends perfectly with the murky depths, letting it remain unseen by those on the shore. According to Inuit legend, the Kalupalik holds a chilling power to draw people to their doom. It does not rush out of the water or roar. Instead, it hums a soft, eerie tune, a sound that floats through the air like a whisper on the breeze. This humming, both lovely and unsettling, is said to entrance those who hear it. The young, the lost, and the lonely are especially at risk, bewitched by the song before they realize what's happening. Stories of the Kalupalik have served as warnings to children in Inuit communities for generations. Parents tell their little ones to stay far from the shore, especially at dusk, when the creature is most likely to show itself. The eerie tale of the Kalupalik aims to teach a deep respect for the sea, reminding children that the ocean, though beautiful, holds dangers beyond their understanding. Even the bravest are told to avoid the shore when the water is quiet, for it is in that stillness that the Kalupalik's tune is heard most clearly. Fishermen talk of seeing green-skinned figures slipping under the waves just out of sight, or of hearing a haunting hum that makes their skin crawl. Some claim to have found tracks near the shore, clawed and webbed footprints leading to the water's edge, fading into the sea. Such moments, though short, keep the legend alive. The legend of the Kalupalik endures, passed along by those who live closest to the cold Alaskan waters. Number 7. Tornet. In the vast frozen expanses of the Arctic, where the snow-covered mountains stand untouched and the land stretches as far as the eye can see, there exists an ancient tale of the Tornet. Known as a race of giants, the Tornet once lived freely across the Alaskan wilderness, towering beings with strength unmatched by any human. But their story is one of loss, exile, and a bitter retreat into hiding. It's said that the Tornet were forced from their lands by the Inuit people and now roam the remote reaches of the wilderness, always watching, forever on the edge of memory. Legends describe the Tornet as towering, nearly twice the size of an ordinary human, with massive hands and feet that left unmistakable prints in the snow. Their strength was said to be fearsome, allowing them to hunt and move across the Arctic landscape with ease. The relationship between the Tornet and the Inuit was once peaceful. According to ancient tales, the two groups shared the land, each respecting the other's ways. The Inuit would hunt and fish, while the Tornet roamed the wilderness, living off the land. But peace was fragile. Over time, misunderstandings and mistrust grew between them. One fateful day, legend tells of a dispute that escalated into violence. The story goes that an Inuit hunter borrowed a tool from a Tornet without asking, an act that, in the world of the Tornet, was seen as a terrible insult. Furious, the Tornet confronted the Inuit, and in the conflict that followed, everything changed. The event marked a turning point, and from that day on, hostility grew between the two. The Inuit, skilled hunters and adaptable survivors, ultimately drove the Tornet away, forcing them into the most remote parts of the Arctic. Today, it is said that the Tornet still survive, hidden away in places where few dare to go. Hunters sometimes speak of seeing enormous tracks in the snow, prints so large they defy explanation. The Tornet have become elusive shadows, staying out of sight but leaving traces of their existence, reminders that they have not truly vanished. Number 8. Amarok. In the icy wilderness of Alaska, where the mountains rise tall and the nights stretch long and dark, there is a legend that moves in silence, the Amarok. Unlike ordinary wolves, This giant of the Arctic hunts alone, its shadow slipping through the snow-covered forests and tundra with no companions by its side. The Amarok is no ordinary creature. It stands as tall as a human, with eyes that seem to pierce the soul. To those who cross its path, it is both a fearsome predator and a spiritual guide, a being of mystery that lives on the edge between the natural and the supernatural. The Inuit people, who have long lived in the heart of this frozen land, speak of the Amarok with both fear and respect. It is said that the Amarok does not hunt simply out of hunger, but also to test anyone brave or foolish enough to wander through its territory. Its strength, speed, and cleverness are unmatched, and it moves like a ghost, hidden until it is too late. According to legend, the Amarok appears to those who travel alone, especially those who feel lost or unsure. It is said that the creature searches for people facing challenges or doubts, testing their courage and resolve. If someone manages to stand firm, the Amarok may choose not to hurt them. Instead, it is believed to offer a rare gift, a peek at hidden truths or guidance that will help them face life's hardships. The Inuit shamans are said to understand the Amarok's importance more than most. In their visions, they call on the spirit of the giant wolf, seeking its counsel in times of crisis. To the shamans, the Amarok is not just a physical creature, but one that walks between worlds, a messenger from the spirit realm that watches over the land. Through rituals and chants, they connect with the Amarok, honoring it as a source of power and wisdom. The Amarok remains one of Alaska's most lasting legends, a creature that shows the raw, untamed force of the natural world. So, if you ever find yourself walking through the frozen forests or the lonely tundra of Alaska, listen closely. The soft crunch of snow, the whisper of the wind, these might be signs that the Amarok is near. Number 9. Nanok. Deep in the dense, shadowed forests of Alaska, where the trees grow thick and the mountains rise steep, there is a legend that inspires both fear and wonder. The creature known as Nanok, also called the Hairy Man, is Alaska's answer to Bigfoot, though far larger, more fearsome, and infinitely more elusive. Unlike its counterparts in the lower 48, Nanok is said to have an aggression that matches the wild, unforgiving land it calls home. The stories of Nanok are passed down by the indigenous Alaskan tribes who warn against wandering too deeply into the forest alone. Unlike the Sasquatch sightings reported in other parts of North America, encounters with Nanok are often marked by hostility. Hunters tell of being driven from their campsites, their equipment tossed around as if by invisible hands. Others speak of finding the unmistakable signs of its presence, massive footprints pressed deep into the forest floor, claw marks on tree trunks, and a pungent, musky smell that hangs in the air long after Nanok has gone. Those who have had close encounters say they feel an overpowering sense of dread, as if the creature's mere presence gives off an aura of menace. One of the most unsettling traits linked to Nanok is its apparent skill at watching its prey without being seen. Many claim that the creature can slip through the forest noiselessly, leaving no trace as it circles and observes, waiting for the right moment to show itself. Legends speak of entire hunting parties who vanished without a trace, their only remains being scattered belongings and footprints too large for any man. The elders of the tribes say that Nanok fiercely guards its territory, and that those who stray too close to its domain risk more than just their lives. They risk awakening the wrath of the hairy man. Some brave souls, drawn by the legend of Nanok, head into the forest, hoping to catch a glimpse of the creature. They bring gifts, tobacco, food, or tools, as offerings to appease the hairy man. But even these acts of respect do not always provide safety. Even now, the legend of Nanok remains as strong as the towering trees of its forest home. Hunters, hikers, and locals all know to respect the hidden boundaries of Nanok's realm. The creature has become a symbol of the raw, untamed power of Alaska itself, a reminder that the wilderness holds secrets we may never fully grasp. Nanok is more than a monster. It is a spirit of the land, a force that has existed since ancient times and will continue as long as the forests endure. Number 10. The Windwalker. In the vast sweep of the Alaskan tundra, where the winds howl like a living thing and the horizon blurs into the snow-covered ground, there exists a legend whispered among those who call this frozen land home. It is the story of the Windwalker, a spirit as great and untamed as the land itself. Known to bring blizzards and bone-chilling cold, the Windwalker is said to wander the Arctic plains, a force of nature that can either guide or mislead anyone who dares to travel across its path. The Windwalker is not seen in a normal way. It has no physical body, no face to recognize. Instead, it lives in the wind, its presence sensed in the icy gusts that sweep over the land. Some describe hearing its voice in the howling blasts, a low, sad sound that echoes across the emptiness. Others speak of feeling its presence, a sudden chill that seems to cut deeper than the regular cold. The legend of the Windwalker is as old as the tundra, passed down through many generations of Alaskan natives who have learned to endure in the harshest of places. It is said that the Windwalker is neither good nor evil, but something far more complicated, a spirit that reflects the land it dwells in. Those who respect the wilderness and move carefully may find the Windwalker to be a guide, leading them back to safety when the tundra becomes confusing. But for those who act carelessly or with disrespect, the Windwalker becomes a trickster, turning the landscape into a maze of snow and ice, taking them deeper into the cold until they cannot find their way. tales of the Windwalker's two-sided nature are common among the Inuit and other native peoples of the Arctic. As the winds of the tundra keep sweeping across the land, the legend of the Windwalker remains. It is a story about nature's power and the delicate balance between humans and the wild. To this day, those who head into the Arctic carry the story with them, aware that the Windwalker may be near, its presence felt in each icy gust and swirling snowdrift. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.